I guess one thing that occurs to me is if it's always been your standard, like to wait, I think that's one thing. But I think a lot of guys don't want to feel like a sucker because there's definitely been situations where, for example, a girl says, "Oh, I used to be wild. I used to have, like, I had a hoe phase in my past, blah, blah, blah. I've slept with 20, 30 guys." And then she lands on you, and now she wants to wait. But she didn't have that attitude with all her previous partners. Now, listen, if that's totally her call. If she wants to wait until marriage after having slept with 100 people, that's her call. However, guys are, I think, within their right to look at that and be like, well, that wasn't your standard in the past, so I don't want to see you. Like, I'm not going to wait, so goodbye, you know?
If he loves and respects you, then he will respect that.
Well, he can respect it, but he could be like, he could have his own standard too and be like, well, you want to wait 3 months, I don't, so we should
I like
goodbye.
those helmets.
And he's entitled to saying goodbye.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
I
okay
don't think that that's a problem necessarily, but I agree with you. I mean, like, if he left because of that, then I would just kind of be like, okay.
Sounds like he only wants you for sex. Then.
Yeah.
Because
you know.
because you're allowed to, if you, especially like if you're saying that men want women that are like pure or whatever the case may be, lower bodies, like even if she had a hoe phase in the past, if she's changing and adapting and trying to become a more moral version of herself that matches his morals, like why would that be something that you would look down on? What? I couldn't hear you. I was speaking.
It could be that you might be attracting the wrong kind of people.
Again, you're putting the accountability only on the women instead of saying that maybe...
I'm just offering an alternate point of view.
Well, look, I suppose it's better if a woman had a promiscuous past, if she's trying to get more in line with non-promiscuity. I suppose that's more desirable than continuing in her promiscuity. But I think it's kind of like a lot of guys are looking at that where it's like, okay, she had a promiscuous past. All the previous men she slept with quick. But now I come along, or this guy comes along, and it's like, oh, now you want to wait. And so a lot of guys are looking at that and being like, well, hold on. And you also hear this from, like, I've heard something like girls will, like, sleep with guys who they consider jerks or assholes, and they'll sleep with them really quick. But here comes along, like, a gentleman, but now that guy who you think is potentially husband material, you're going to make him wait. And guys kind of view that, and it's like, oh.
But I think if you're looking at it, I mean, sure, I understand where you're coming from and the perspective that some men might have with that. But if you're looking for a more woman that's more pure, aligned with whatever that you align with, I think that you should look at that as a bonus of, oh, she sees something in me that she didn't see in these other men, and she wants to have a long-standing, like, relationship with me, and she's changing that level of promiscuity and trying to actually build a foundation for our relationship. And if a man really loves a woman or likes a woman that he's dating, he should be okay with and respect that.
Yeah, if I wait to sleep with someone and I, like, emotionally get to know them first, I actually respect them more.
And I also feel like 3 dates is not a too crazy of a
it's
time
not.
frame.
It's
like,
not.
Yeah, 3 dates isn't a lot, but, like...
Yeah, so I don't know I'm not sure where this conversation is steering. I also don't know if any of us can relate to, like, the example that you gave of, like, being a hoe and then now making a guy wait. Can anybody...
Body count of 100?
Yeah, can anybody here relate to that?
Absolutely.
No, but okay, I'm sure there have been... There's probably women here at the table who have maybe in the past hooked up with a guy first time meeting him, and then you'll make another guy wait 3 dates, 6 dates, however long it is. So it's kind of like you give two different men, like, different sorts of treatment.
I understand where you're coming from.
And here's like an example I'd like to give is, how would you feel if your current boyfriend, you've been dating him for a year, he doesn't really do much in terms of, like, he doesn't get you gifts, doesn't really take you out to dinner. You like each other, he likes you, you like him, but he's not really doing anything in terms of, like I said, taking you on dates, maybe gifts, whatever it may be. You find out that his last girlfriend, he was taking her on trips, he was buying her gifts, he was providing, paying for the first date. Wouldn't that make you feel a certain type of way? Like, oh, why is he doing all this for her you know?
Yeah,
right, but
it's
then that you would have a conversation with them about that and like bring up why you're feeling a certain way and get the answer that you either want or don't want from them.
Because I think like gifts and traveling is a lot different than
Yeah,
like giving
than
your body to
sex.
somebody. I mean, if we're saying that sex is different to men and women, then shouldn't the man expect, oh, well, maybe she's changed her mind on her like promiscuous phases and maybe she sees something else in me that she didn't see in somebody else. But I mean, if a guy was treating his last girlfriend really, really well and getting her gifts and traveling and like wanting to go places and do things, and then he didn't do that for me, I would just assume he didn't like me very much.
And this is also under the assumption that he's going to know about all the other people you've slept with in the time frame that you slept with them. Like, this doesn't even
so
make any
unrealistic.
sense. Yeah. But I understand where you're coming from.
I
But
do, and I could see how somebody might view it that way. But I mean, again, I'm not going to go sit on a first date with somebody and be like, okay, so I slept with this guy on this date, and I
Yeah.
slept with him after date 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, I would never do that.
We have a chat here from NPC